From bizarre textures to health hazards.
It's sour. The aftertaste stays for hours. It has a length that goes on for about 2 days.
Some foods are banned for reasons that might shock you.
These are big bowls of rotten fish. Some of them are more than a year old. It's called prohog, and folks in Cambodia absolutely love it.
Today, we're diving into a list of forbidden dishes and the surprising stories behind their prohibition. That might just make you rethink your next meal.
It's like custard.
Yeah, it is like an egg custard.
What kind of snake is that?
That's a huge cobra.
A cobra.
Be careful because they can spit out the venom.
Unbelievable.
When in Vietnam, why not live a little dangerously? Here you can order a cobra's heart, which is a true test of bravery, and a popular tourist attraction. Originally believed to boost male virility, it's now all about the thrill. Pick your live cobra and they'll slice out its heart, dropping it into a glass of rice wine for you to drink while it's still beating. If that's not wild enough, you can follow it with shots of the snake's bile, blood, and even venom. But don't worry, your stomach acid will neutralize it. Sounds thrilling. Not sure, but definitely not your average dinner. Maggot cheese.
It's the maggots that give the cheese its distinctive texture and flavor.
Where there's a wriggle, there's a way. Casu marzu, or rotten cheese from Sardinia, Italy, takes cheese making to the next level with live insect larvae known as cheese flies. These tiny critters help ferment the cheese, giving it a unique creamy texture and a flavor described as intense and peppery. Despite its status as a local delicacy, you won't find this cheese on US shelves. Why? Well, the FDA strictly bans foods containing live insects, and eating casu marzu can pose health risks, including allergic reactions and intestinal issues from live maggots. It's a cheese that's as dangerous as it is intriguing, proving that not all delicacies are for the faint-hearted.
It's sour. The aftertaste stays for hours. It has a length that goes on for about 2 days.
Haggis.
It's an unbelievably flexible food, first and foremost, but actually, there's no right or wrong way to do it.
When in doubt, leave the lungs out. And this was the fate of traditional haggis in the US. Haggis, the traditional Scottish dish made from sheep organs mixed with oats, onions, and spices, is a beloved delicacy in Scotland, but faces a roadblock in the US. The reason? Well, US food safety regulations ban the use of sheep lungs in food due to concerns about foodborne illness from potential contamination during slaughter. Even though some haggis fans in America are disappointed, alternatives are using different meats instead of lungs, keeping the tradition alive in a modified form. It's a classic case of balancing tradition and safety.
Different texture, liver is quite gamey, heart is very steak-like.
Fermented shark.
The Greenland shark is the most toxic shark in the world. Fresh meat, you would get very sick, then a little bit more, you could probably go blind, and then death after that.
When life gives you lemons, why make shark lemonade? Have a look at this one. In Iceland, folks have taken gross food to a whole new level with harkarl, a dish of fermented Greenland shark. Well, how do they do it exactly? The sharks are first buried in sand and rocks for months to press out toxic acids, then hung up to dry. The result? A smelly, ammonia-rich delicacy that's diced and cubed and ready to serve. It's often compared to a mix of strong cheese and, well, urine. Even the experts couldn't handle it, calling it one of the worst things they'd ever eaten. US authorities advise against trying it, thanks to the toxic elements. When in doubt, go without, especially if it smells like this.
You can taste the smell of it, but it's that really kind of like rich Stilton cheese.
Egg embryo.
Mine's not as developed as yours. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
If you're ever in the Philippines or Vietnam craving some street food, you might be tempted by balut. At first glance, it looks like a harmless hard-boiled egg. But if you're not adventurous, you might want to pass. Balut is actually a fertilized duck embryo cooked right in its shell. After being incubated for about a week, the embryo grows and the egg is boiled. Peel back the shell, and you'll find a tiny duck, feathers, beak, and all. This interesting dish hasn't made it to the US because animal rights folks think it's not cool. Just goes to show that sometimes you're better off not knowing too much about what's on your plate.
It's like custard.
Yeah, it is like an egg custard.
Ant caviar.
This is what we came up, 70, maybe 80 grams of escamol.
White ant egg soup is a Laotian dish made from white ant eggs. It's also popular in Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. The soup is a mix of eggs, partial embryos, and baby ants. Those who have tasted it say the eggs release a sour flavor when popped in the mouth. You might think, oh no, disgusting, but it's actually quite tasty. However, you can't find this openly in US restaurants due to health safety concerns and regulations. Ant egg soup is like an exotic adventure in a bowl, surprising and unique. In the culinary world, sometimes the strangest dishes hides the best flavors. So next time you're abroad, why not give it a try?
Take that leap of faith and understand that they're going to be eating one of the most amazing foods.
Turtle trouble. Despite being endangered, sea turtles are still considered a delicacy in some cultures. These reptiles are not only eaten but also used for making jewelry and clothing, leading to their drastic decline. With their population dwindling, the US has banned the capture and consumption of sea turtles. Conservation efforts are in full swing globally, from protecting nesting beaches to international laws like CITES regulating their trade. Yet the demand persists in many coastal areas. Let's hope these ancient mariners make a massive return, for their sake and ours. Stinkheads.
My mouth is watering right now. Every time I talk about it, it just starts watering.
One person's trash is another person's treasure. It perfectly sums up stinkheads, a unique Alaskan delicacy. Stinkheads are the fermented heads of salmon, buried underground until they start to rot. After a few weeks, they're unearthed, cleaned, and mashed into a pudding-like consistency. This traditional dish, known as tepa to the Yupik people, and is cherished in Alaska, but comes with risks. The fermentation process can lead to botulism, a serious and potentially fatal illness if not prepared correctly. Despite its cultural significance, experts are considering limiting its consumption due to these health concerns. Safety first, even with traditions.
And you're just taking that nose, that cartilage that's inside the salmon's nose, and that's what you're eating. That all that flavor goes in there.
Slimy delicacy. When it comes to adventurous eats, senjaki tops the list. This Korean dish is prepared from live octopus chopped into small pieces and served immediately. The tentacles continue to wriggle on the plate, creating a dining experience that's both thrilling and risky. Eaten with sesame oil and sometimes red chili paste, its chewy and salty texture attracts culinary daredevils. However, this dish is not without danger. The suckers can stick to the throat, causing choking, and around 6 people meet their demise each year from eating senjaki. Despite the risks, many Koreans believe eating it builds strength and stamina. Live octopus might fight back, but it's a test of bravery on your plate. So next time you're eating it, remember, it's a wrestling meal that won't go down without a fight. Traditional treat. Have you ever heard of pig cake? No, not an actual cake made of pig, but it's close enough. Pig's cake is a cherished dish in some Asian countries and is made by combining pork with rice and spices. Though not outright banned, it's under close watch in many places due to food safety concerns. If not cooked properly, it can harbor harmful germs. Officials often enforce strict rules on its preparation and sale to ensure it's safe to eat and won't make people sick. While it holds cultural significance, the priority is to keep everyone healthy. So, when enjoying traditional foods, always ensure they're prepared with care. Fugu. If you ever think eating should be a thrill ride, meet fugu, the Japanese puffer fish. This fish is infamous for containing tetrodotoxin, a poison 1,200 times more fatal than cyanide. The liver, ovaries, and intestines are the most toxic parts, and even a small mistake in preparation can be fatal. In the US, making and selling it is controlled very strictly to keep people safe. Only certain people are allowed to bring it into the US. Chefs undergo years of training to get a license. But despite this, some unfortunate incidents happen every year. It is more popular in Japan, but in the US, keeping people safe is the most important thing. It's a bite for the brave, but a risk for the reckless. So, would you dare? Green Fairy.
Absinthe is sort of an ancient spirit of sorts.
Absinthe, often called the Green Fairy, has a colorful history and some wild myths surrounding it. Once banned in the US and many European countries due to fears that it caused hallucinations and other harmful effects, absinthe is now legal with strict regulations. The main concern was thujon, a compound found in wormwood. Thujon was believed to cause hallucinations, but modern production techniques keeps its levels so low that it's harmless. While absinthe can be enjoyed responsibly today, its dark past makes it still notorious. Cheers to the Green Fairy, but know your limits.
Typically, people won't drink absinthe neat at full strength.
Banned oil. In the world of foods, one ingredient that's become a ghost of flavors past is sassafras oil. Extracted from the bark of the sassafras tree, this oil is used to be a popular addition to foods and drinks for its unique taste and aroma. However, it was banned in the US back in the 1960s due to the presence of safrole, a compound found to cause liver cancer in lab rats and linked to miscarriages in humans. Despite its ban on food, sassafras oil hasn't disappeared entirely. It's still used in some medicines and perfumes, which show that while some doors close, others open. Sometimes tasty food isn't good for you, so it's important to be careful about food safety.
So sassafras is naturally going to thicken any liquid that you put it in.
Foie gras.
This is actually duck liver, and it actually looks like a sort of block of butter. We get it really nice and crispy on the sides.
Foie gras, a dish of debate that stirs the soul and the stomach alike. It's a delicacy made from the fattened liver of ducks or geese, and has a controversial production process. Birds are force-fed to enlarge their livers up to 10 times their normal size. This practice, known as gavage, has been criticized for its inhuman way. So, some states like California, New York, and Illinois have banned the production and sale of foie gras. The ban in California started in 2012 and was recently upheld by a judge that showed the state's strong stance against animal cruelty. Despite the bans, there are still some places that serve foie gras, and some chefs are looking into more humane production methods.
Now it's starting to break down. And tilt the pan back up.
Bird's nest soup.
Silky and smooth, really mild, but it's so delicious.
Every bird deserves its nest, but when it comes to bird's nest soup, things get tricky. This delicacy is made from the saliva nests of swiftlets and is a prized health food in Southeast Asia. However, in countries like Indonesia and Thailand, overharvesting has led to conservation concerns. To protect swiftlets and their habitats, there are strict regulations on nest collection. These rules aim to ensure the birds can continue to thrive and keep their nests intact. So next time this exotic soup tempts you, remember that sometimes it's best to let the birds keep their homes. Soup or sanctuary? Choose wisely.
Swiftlet nests are only harvested from December to April, and Alvin can find as many as 2,500 in those 5 months.
Bloody breakfast. When it comes to British cuisine, if it looks weird, it's probably delicious. So does this black pudding, a staple of the traditional full English breakfast, this isn't your typical sausage. It's made from pig's blood, pork fat, and oatmeal, all boiled until it forms a thick sliceable sausage. It's usually fried and served alongside eggs, bacon, beans, tomatoes, and toast. Although it dates back centuries and is loved by many due to its rich, savory flavor, authorities have shown concerns about it, that it can cause bowel cancer due to dangerous microbes and preservatives used to make it. So, if you are in love with this cuisine, better stick to the normal sausages. Ortalon crisis. The Ortalon bunting, a tiny bird that used to be a fancy French delicacy, is now in trouble. According to tradition, this little bird is captured, well-fed, and prepared using special techniques. It's also eaten in a special way, by placing a cloth over the head. The reason for this tradition isn't confirmed, but some say it's to preserve the aroma. Since 1999, catching, selling, or eating these birds has been banned due to their declining numbers. However, some people still hunt and eat them in secret, risking their extinction. Now, French authorities are taking bold steps to prevent the extinction of this little bird. Hope this little bird makes its way into nature again. Sweet dreams.
These brownies are laced with melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep aid.
Remember those crazy cakes? They were super popular chocolatey brownies from Massachusetts. But then they kind of disappeared. Sold at just around $2, these bedtime treats promise to help you unwind after a long day. The secret? Each serving was packed with a 4 milligram of melatonin, a hormone produced by the pineal gland to regulate sleep cycles, often used in pill form to combat short-term sleeplessness. But adding a sleep aid to a brownie and slapping a friendly cartoon on the wrapper? A big no-no for the FDA. In 2011, after reports of children being hospitalized, these sleepy time brownies were banned.
By drafting an ordinance, I will hopefully ban the sale of this ill-conceived product.
Aki Alert.
At the end of the stick, there's a little hook. Look up there, you can see that.
When you have an Aki, make sure it's ripe. This vibrant fruit is an icon in Jamaican cuisine, but it hides a dark side. Unripe Aki contains hypoglycin A, a toxin that can cause severe health issues like vomiting, weakness, and even coma, a condition known as Jamaican vomiting sickness. Because of these dangers, fresh Aki is banned in the US, but canned or frozen Aki, which has been processed to remove the toxin, is allowed. You can find it in especially Caribbean stores or online, ensuring you enjoy it safely. Remember, in the world of exotic fruits, safety first keeps the doctor at bay.
So you take from here.
Okay. So you can like pivot it out.
Yeah, pivot it out.
Redfish rebound.
They have to have science to close it. And to emergency closure, they have to have really good science.
Redfish, also known as red drum, were nearly wiped out by overfishing in the 1980s along the Gulf and Atlantic coasts. To help them bounce back, the government put strict rules in place, halted commercial fishing, and set limits on recreational catches. These measures gave the redfish population a chance to grow again, and now they're swimming strong. Today, people can still catch it for fun, but they are allowed only if they follow the rules, like size limits and daily catch quotas. This comeback story showed how working together to protect nature really pays off. So, keep these waters thriving by respecting the guidelines.
The drop in the pass is the spawn, and they're going to give it another spring spawn, which will really help the fisheries.
Flavor enchantment.
I've tried them in my tea and coffee, and it is a nice flavor.
Tonka beans are the beans with their enchanting mix of vanilla, cherry, and cinnamon flavors that are the dream of every chef. But they're banned in the US due to their coramin content. Coramin, when consumed in large amounts, can cause liver damage and thin the blood, which led the FDA to prohibit its use in food since the 1950s. Despite this, tonka beans remain popular in perfumes and scented products, which indicates their versatile appeal. Although the risk of harm from normal culinary use is minimal, strict regulations remain. Some flavors can be enchanting, but safety is always a priority.
30 entire beans would need to be eaten to approach the levels reported as toxic.
Forbidden eggs. You can't have your egg and eat it too, especially if it's a wild bird egg in the US. Thanks to the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, MBTA, it's illegal to collect these eggs without special permission. The MBTA is all about protecting migratory birds and their nests from being disturbed. While scientists and conservationists might get the green light for some activities, taking eggs for fun or profit is a big no-no. This law aims to keep bird populations and their habitats safe and thriving. So, next time you spot a nest, just remember, these rules help our feathered friends soar for generations to come. Bird protection matters! Cava Controversy.
We warn people about it. We want to educate people on it as well as make it available to them.
Sometimes tradition and modern health concerns clash in the world of food. Take Cava. A drink from the South Pacific is a perfect example. Cava is made from the roots of the Cava plant, and these are not just ordinary roots, they're celebrated for their relaxing effects. However, countries like Germany and Canada have banned it due to concerns about liver damage caused by cavaltones. Despite this, in the Pacific Islands, Cava remains a cultural staple. Efforts are underway to ensure its safe production and balancing tradition with health. Hope they find a way, but until then, it's a debate between honoring heritage and ensuring safety. Safety before tradition, but with respect for the past.
At the same time, you're getting a body relaxation from its muscle relaxing benefit.
Marbel Ban.
Aren't they gorgeous? They just look like they're glowing from within.
Marbel plums are the sweet jewels of France and are used to create delightful jams and brandy. However, fresh Marbels are a no-go in the US due to fears of the plum pox virus. This virus can wreak havoc on stone fruit trees like plums and peaches, and it spreads through infected plants and bugs. To safeguard the US fruit industry, officials have banned the import of fresh Marbels. Though processed products like jams might be allowed after thorough checks, the aim is to protect our orchards and keep delicious fruits on our tables. Better safe than poxy, right?
They usually have this lovely golden exterior with a bit of a blush of one color or another.
Toxic salmon. Farm salmon might look delicious, but it's swimming in chemicals. Norwegian farm salmon in particular is packed with PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls, harmful industrial chemicals banned in the US since 1976. These chemicals can cause cancer and damage the immune system. But the question is, how did they end up in salmon? Well, it's all about the fish feed. Farm salmon eat pellets made from small fish that have absorbed PCBs from polluted waterways. As these small fish are ground into pellets, the toxins concentrate. A 2018 study found that farmed salmon had 5 times more toxins than any other food tested. So if you're craving salmon, stick to the wild kind for a safer, healthier meal. Bagel peril. A round treat, a slippery foe. Who knew this old baker's wisdom would ring so true? Believe it or not, bagels are one of the most dangerous foods in your kitchen. It's true, but not for the usual reasons that make food dangerous. Every year, about 2,000 Americans end up in the emergency room, having cut their hands while preparing bagels. In fact, these embarrassing slip-ups are so common that doctors have a name for them: BRIs, bagel-related injuries. The problem is bagels often need holding and placed to be sliced. This is why most BRIs happen to the non-dominant hand. So better to use some fancy tools for cutting or slice with care to keep your fingers spare. Nutmeg dangers. Too much of a good thing can be bad, and nutmeg is no exception. This festive spice is hiding a toxic secret. It contains a substance called myristicin that can mess with your central nervous system. It can cause mild hallucinations, vomiting, and in extreme cases, even death. Once taken, the myristicin triggers the release of a protein that affects body cells, and if it's taken in large amounts, then the result will be organ failure. Just 1 teaspoon is enough to cause poisoning symptoms, and 2 could be lethal. So for these reasons, this spice is strictly monitored and is not widely available. So while a sprinkle of nutmeg can elevate your dishes, be cautious not to go overboard. Mango myth. Ever heard of African bush mango seeds? They're often hyped as a weight loss miracle, but many countries ban them due to safety and effectiveness concerns. The seeds contain coumarin, which can be unhealthy in large amounts. Experts warn that these supplements might not work as advertised and could even be harmful. Despite the bans, many still try to sell them illegally. Authorities are cracking down on unauthorized sales to protect consumers from wasting money or risking their health. Always check with a healthcare professional before trying new supplements, especially ones with unproven claims. Seed scare. Safety first, even with seeds. Fenugreek seeds are small, useful for cooking and sometimes as medicine. They are known for aiding digestion and blood sugar control. However, in 2011, Europe faced a major issue with these seeds. Egyptian fenugreek seeds were linked to an E. coli outbreak, which caused several mortalities and many illnesses. As a result, the EU temporarily banned these seeds to prevent further contamination. The contamination likely happened due to poor hygiene or improper storage. Despite the scare, people still use fenugreek for its health benefits. It's crucial to ensure these seeds come from safe sources. Remember, safety isn't just a priority, it's a necessity for health. Buzz ban. Ractopine might sound like just another ingredient in livestock feed, but it's a controversial one. This feed additive is used to promote lean muscle growth in pigs and cattle. However, due to safety concerns for both humans and animals, many countries including the European Union, China, and Russia have banned its use. Some studies suggest ractopine can cause health problems like heart issues and hormonal imbalances in humans when they eat this ractopine-fed meat. Plus, it's known to stress animals, leading to tremors and even demise in severe cases. Despite these bans, people are divided on the use. Some push stricter regulations, and others defend its use for economic benefits, whether to use it or not. It's up to you, but the effects are seriously concerning. Milk risk. Raw milk is milk that hasn't been pasteurized, meaning it hasn't been heated to kill harmful germs. Some people love it for its supposed health benefits and fresh taste, but here's the kicker. Raw milk can harbor nasty bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, which can cause severe illness. That's why many US states have strict rules or outright bans on selling it. A few places allow limited sales directly from farms or through special programs. But doctors especially warn that it's risky for pregnant women, kids, and those with weak immune systems. So next time you crave that natural milk, think about playing it safe and sticking to pasteurized milk. Better safe than sorry. Seahorses. Seahorses may be tiny, but they play a big role in keeping our oceans healthy. In many countries like Australia, catching, trading, or selling them is strictly banned to protect their decreasing numbers. These unique creatures are often used in traditional medicine, souvenirs, and aquariums, which has led to a significant drop in their population. The illegal trade of seahorses has pushed them to the brink of extinction. Many countries have put laws in place to ensure these fascinating creatures are safe. Protecting seahorses helps maintain the balance in ocean ecosystems, highlighting the importance of wildlife conservation. Always be mindful of where your souvenirs come from, and remember, saving one seahorse might save a whole ocean. Cheddar cheese. Here comes the old cheese, but with new risks. Unpasteurized cheese made from raw milk might taste fantastic, but it comes with a side of potential germs like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria. That's why many US states have strict rules about selling it. Cheesemakers need to follow through cleanliness standards and get their products tested often to make sure they're safe. You can still find unpasteurized cheese in special stores, but rest assured it's checked carefully. This strictness keeps everyone from getting sick while enjoying their favorite cheese. Always know the source and stay safe. After all, a cheesy feast should never come with a health fight. Risky sprouts. They say you reap what you sow, but with raw sprouts, you might be sowing troubles. Alfalfa, bean, and broccoli sprouts are popular salad and sandwich add-ins, but they can harbor bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. They are grown in warm, damp conditions that bacteria love. They can get contaminated during cultivation or handling. Health experts suggest skipping raw sprouts, especially for kids, pregnant women, the elderly, or anyone with a weak immune system. While not banned, there are often warnings. To play it safe, always wash and cook sprouts before eating. Now it's time for an open discussion. In the Salmon Factory, skilled workers handle each fish with care. First, they gently extract eggs from mature female salmon and ensure that every egg is safe. Afterward, they meticulously clean the salmon bodies and remove scales and guts. Special machines then slice the fish into fillets or steaks. Each cut is precise and checked thoroughly for quality before packaging. These workers ensure that the salmon you buy is fresh and top-notch. They play a crucial role in delivering high-quality seafood to your table. Always appreciate the journey of your food, from sea to plate. It's a pure tale of precision and dedication. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.